So good evening everyone. I am Apple Aguilion and I will be tackling the Aeneid by Virgil. So let's have first the background of the Aeneid. So the Aeneid is an epic poem written by Virgil between 29 and 19 BCE. So Virgil wrote this epic poem, the Aeneid, during the reign of Emperor Augustus. And this poem is divided into 12 books, and it tells about the story of the legendary story of Aeneas, and Aeneas is the main character of the Aeneid. And the central theme of this poem, it includes duty, faith, and leadership. So now we will go to, or we will move forward to the summary of the Aeneid for you to understand or to know the story of the Aeneid. So the summary of the Aeneid. This is the story of Aeneas, the founder of Rome. A long, long time ago, in a land far, far away, on the Mediterranean Sea, Aeneas and his fellow Trojans flee from their home city of Troy, which has been destroyed by the Greeks. They sail for Italy, where Aeneas is destined to found Rome. As they near their destination, a fierce storm throws them off course and lands them in Carthage. So that is Aeneas who sail for Italy. So Dido, Carthage's founder and queen, welcomes them. Aeneas relates to Dido the long and painful story of his group's travels thus far. Aeneas tells of the sack of Troy that ended the Trojan War after 10 years of Greek siege. In the final campaign, the Trojans were tricked when they accepted into their city walls a wooden horse that, unbeknownst to them, harbored several Greek soldiers in its hollow belly. He tells how he escaped the burning city with his father Anchises, his son Asinius, and the hard goods that represent their fallen city. Assured by the gods that a glorious future awaited him in Italy, he set sail with a fleet containing the surviving citizens of Troy. Aeneas relates the ordeals they faced on their journey. Twice they attempted to build a new city only to be driven away by bad omens and plagues. Harpists, creatures that are part woman and part bird, cursed them. But they also encountered friendly countrymen unexpectedly. Finally, after the loss of Anchises and a bout of terrible weather, they made their way to Carthage. Impressed by Aeneas' exploits and sympathetic to his suffering, Dido falls in love with Aeneas. They live together as lovers for a period until the gods remind Aeneas of his duty to found a new city. He determines to set sail once again. Dido is devastated by his departure and kills herself by ordering a huge pyre to be built with Aeneas' castaway possessions, climbing upon it and stabbing herself with the sword Aeneas leaves behind. As the Trojans make for Italy, bad weather blows them to Sicily, where they hold funeral games for the dead Anchises. Once there, Aeneas descends into the underworld guided by the Sibyl of Cumae to visit his father. He is shown a pagan of the future history and heroes of Rome, which helps him to understand the importance of his mission. Aeneas returns from the underworld and the Trojans continue up the coast to the region of Latium. The arrival of the Trojans in Italy begins peacefully. King Latinus, the Italian ruler, extends his hospitality, hoping that Aeneas will prove to be the foreigner whom, according to a prophecy, his daughter Lavinia is supposed to marry. But Latinus' wife Amata has other ideas. She means for Lavinia to marry Turnus, a local suitor. Amata and Turnus cultivate enmity toward the newly arrived Trojans. Meanwhile, Asanius hands a dog that was a pet of the local herdsman. A fight breaks out and several people are killed. Turnus, riding this current of anger, begins a war. Aeneas, at the suggestion of the river god Tiberinus, sails north of the Tiber to seek military support among the neighboring tribes. During this voyage, his mother Venus descends to give him a new set of weapons brought by Vulcan. While the Trojan leader is away, Turnus attacks. Aeneas returns to find his countrymen embroiled in battle. Peleus, the son of Aeneas' new ally Evander, is killed by Turnus. Aeneas flies into to a violent fury, and many more are slain by the day's end. Turnus rushes out to meet Aeneas, who wants Turnus badly. Aeneas nearly spares Turnus, but remembering the slain Peleus, slays him instead. And that concludes the epic masterpiece of Virgil, the Aeneid. So, the journey of Ennis and his people was filled with hardships. They faced violent storms, monsters like harpies, and were even cursed. So twice they tried to settle in new lands, but each time they were forced to move on. And eventually, a storm brought them to Carthage, a powerful city of North Africa that was ruled by Queen Dido. And Queen Dido, and after that, Queen Dido falls in love with Ines. And and after they fallen in love or they been together, the god, yeah, the god said to Ines about his duty that he need to look for another city, a new city, because their city, the city of Troy, was destroyed by the Greeks. That's why the gods, um, the duty of Ines is um, to found a to found a new city. So Ines and his men continue to Sicily, where they held funeral games for Anchises who had died during the journey. And after that, um, finally, the Trojans arrive in Italy in a region called Latium, and they welcome by King Latinus, who believed that Aeneas was the foreigner meant to marry his daughter Lavinia because it is according to the prophecy. And however, there is a conflict because the wife of King Latinus, who is Queen Amata, wanted Lavinia to marry a local prince named Turnus, and who became angry and jealous of Aeneas. So, with that, he was Turnus attacked the Trojan camp. When Aeneas returned, he led his men into battle, and he was given a powerful new set of weapons by the god Venus. So Venus is Turnus' mother, and he thanks to his mother Venus. And during the war, Aeneas' ally, the young Peleus, was killed by Turnus, and this deeply enraged Aeneas. And in the final battle, Aeneas defeated Turnus, though he hesitated at first, and he remembered that Peleus chose to kill Turnus, and that's the ending of the war. And the epic poem shows that Aeneas, as a symbol of duty and sacrifices, he puts his personal desires aside to follow the will of gods and fulfill his destiny. And through suffering and struggle, he lays the foundation for what will one day become the Roman Empire. And the epic poem, the Aeneid, is not just a story of adventure, but it's a powerful reminder of how Rome's greatness was believed to have come from divine guidance, heroic courage, and the endurance of its founder. And for the The literary criticism of this, the applied lenses or theory of this poem are the new historicism or cultural studies and the psychoanalytic. So the new historicism or cultural studies, the Aeneid was written during the reign of Emperor Augustus and reflects the political and cultural needs of that time. So Virgil uses the epic to promote Roman values and justify Augustus' rule, portraying the Aeneas journey as a fulfillment of Rome's divine destiny. So a new historicist reading would focus on how the poem mirrors the historical context, yeah, for the historical context of Rome's rise to power and how it reinforces the cultural and historical, political ideologies of the Augustan period. And for the psychoanalytic, the Aeneid would explore Aeneas' internal struggle, particularly his conflict between his personal desire and his duty to his people and faith. So that's the summary of the Aeneid, and also that is the literary criticism theory or lenses that is applied to this poem. So that's all. Thank you.